lot of the work that I was doing, was asked to do, was really all around lead generation and around that sort of business development, and not necessarily around thinking about the API, thinking about integrations. And it's taken a while to sort of get management to sort of think about business development more from a strategic standpoint, and really taking full advantage of this API economy. And I've really done a lot of thinking around this. I've been met with a lot of challenges, which I'll share with you during this presentation, but I think that I'm very excited by what I see in the future of we as an ISV and how we're embracing this API economy. So first, just a little more about Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft, as I mentioned, the SaaS platform is started by 2007. It's essentially a sales and marketing automation platform. Some would call it CRM. It does have CRM type functionality. The unique element of our solution, there are a couple of unique elements, but first and foremost, it's our target market. We are focused exclusively on the small business. So the word SMB doesn't even purse my lips. We talk about the S, and we target small businesses that are anywhere from 2 to 10 employees, maybe 15 employees. Companies come through our funnel and they're, say, 25 employees, $25, $30 million a year. We'll recommend they go to HubSpot. That is our focus. I'm going to talk a little bit about our partnership philosophy. So in business development, as I mentioned before, when I first came on board, we were really very much focused on sort of lead gen as a primary mandate. That's shifted quite a bit now. Now our focus is really much more oriented towards solving customer problems. What's the gap in our overall solution? What do our customers need? And what is Infusionsoft not solving for? And what we try to do is I use with my team this framework of discover, incubate, and accelerate. So we wanted to try and discover what those potential opportunities might be, and then within business development, we're trying to incubate those opportunities and turn them into something, and hopefully enable them to scale and live somewhere else in the organization. I've often said that the badge of honor of business development is to build and create a new business and then have it live somewhere else in the organization. That's essentially what we're trying to do. Well, I'll go through a couple of case studies and examples of things that we've done over the past 2 years. But in essence, the importance of integrations is really what I've learned over these past 2 years, and how important our API is to enable these partnerships. And that's really been the struggle and the challenge that I've experienced since joining Infusionsoft, is that I can't get the developers time or energy to focus on these integrations. I can talk till I'm blue in the face about how important these integrations are, but candidly, our developers are very focused on our roadmap. They're focused on the next innovations for Infusionsoft. To them, the API is the DMARC. That's where it stops. That's their responsibility. They focus on the API, and then that's it, making sure that the API is as good as it can be. And I'm looking at Mark right now. We know that we can always improve our API, and I'll get into that later as well. So basically, how do we prioritize partnerships? What does a successful partnership look like? Again, it starts with understanding the customer need. Where is the customer's needs greatest, and then really focusing on that opportunity. I put this slide up here to really talk about 3 different types of integrations that we think about when we start to think about our API and our go-to-market approach. We term native means building something internally, something that we believe is core to our overall solution, and something that we want to be able to expose to our customers that's truly strategic and important for our customers, and eventually could become its own revenue stream or line of business. Strategic are those must-have integrations, those integrations that our customers are beckoning for day in and day out, and that we just need to have them. I didn't mention this in my intro, but Infusionsoft, we kind of consider ourselves sort of the system of record for the small business. If you think about what we are the CRM, or customer database. Our small business customers use our system every day. So as you might imagine, I think it was Dave Politis talked about the stack, and CRM is a core part of that stack. And so there are a number of integrations that we believe to be truly strategic. And again, we're doing voice of the customer, surveying, just trying to understand what are those important integrations. And I'll talk about that shortly. And then lastly, we have what I call our ecosystem partnerships and integrations. Those tend to be, we have a marketplace, and we have an open API with API documentation. That sort of ecosystem is what we try to invite developers to build and innovate on, to find those point applications, those unique capabilities that will solve a certain, opportunity for a certain group of our customers. In that case, my team doesn't really do a lot with the ecosystem partners, but it's still a very important and vibrant element to the overall sort of ecosystem of Infusionsoft and what we offer. So let me give you two case studies. And I'll talk about the two realms, native and strategic. First, on the strategic side, I mentioned that one of the ways in which we source and identify the most important integrations is voice of the customer. And since I've been at Infusionsoft, the CEO has mentioned to me many times, Richard, we've got to do something about QuickBooks. Because that is by far and away the largest, most requested integration is the integration between the database of record, the customer database of record, and the financial database of record. The interesting thing is that in all the survey data we get, they talk about QuickBooks. We have no clue whether it's desktop or QBO. We have no idea exactly what our customers are asking. They're just simply saying, in some cases, it's not even QuickBooks. In some cases, we find out that they're actually using a different solution. So it's a real conundrum for us, and trying to figure out how to prioritize which integrations to focus on, number one, and then number two, when we know that I don't have the dev resources to actually focus on building that integration, creates even greater challenges for us. So part of what I spent a lot of this year doing was really researching and meeting with a lot of the third-party connectors that are out there. Mark will be speaking later. We're talking about partnering as well. I think Cloud is an awesome platform. I truly believe, at least for right now, given where we are in our state, that the connectors, the third-party integrators, play a very important role in this API economy. And so that's been, at least for right now, our go-to approach for establishing integrations with a lot of the major accounting solutions that are out there today, is that we're working with a third-party connector who's building those integrations for us. The interesting thing, though, is that it's not just simply us writing a requirements document, say go off to the races and build these integrations. We're actually very actively involved. We're engaging our own ecosystem, our certified partners who are very familiar in using QBO, using Xero, using other solutions that are out there. They've actually helped us design and develop those use cases. So this is a multi-pronged approach. It's a very focused effort, and one that we're not just simply taking to some sort of outsourced approach and saying, go get it done. We're approaching it almost as if we were developing and designing ourselves, except we're doing it with third parties. The other thing that I'll mention is that beyond just simply leveraging the third-party development component, we're also committing our own sort of BD effort into the distribution of these integrations. So we've heard loud and clear from our customers that accounting integrations are really important. So our BD team is working with our PMM team, our product marketing team. They're working with our sales team, working with all of our partner channels to recruit partners to distribute, to articulate, to talk about these integrations that we develop and to build upon. So we think that this is the last session, I loved how you talked about the learning and testing. We're going to be learning and testing a lot here. We're trying something that's new that Infusionsoft hasn't done before. We view these to be very strategic, very important integrations, and we're putting a lot of effort behind them. There could also, I might add that there could be an opportunity down the road with our conversations with QuickBooks, for instance, or with any other accounting solution, that there may be opportunities to do things that are more native. And so if those opportunities were to evolve, let's say there was an opportunity to create an in-app exposure within Infusionsoft with a button for QBO or something of that nature, then we will be willing to take the next step and commitment to investing further. But at least for right now, the strategic integration it's called out, it's clear, it's from our CEO on down, we all know it's happening. We'll be releasing them soon, and it's sort of the first step in the process. On the native side, we also launched a new business actually just a few months ago, and here when I talked about Infusionsoft before, I mentioned that we're an email marketing company. We have email service front end. Sales and marketing automation is core what we do. On the back end, we actually have a shopping cart. And our shopping cart last year generated $3.5 billion of transactions, which is not insignificant. And as I started delving into the data and looking further into this, again, this is sort of that discover, incubate, and accelerate approach. We made an executive level determination to get into the payment space. It's been an interesting journey for us, launching a payments solution. Again, we decided to do this through a partnership, and in this case, we felt that because the solution was so integral to the experience of our customers, that this had to be native. It had to be white label. It had to be completely embedded within the overall experience, the overall setup of the shopping cart experience, and the overall sort of process that our customers go through. Why, do you ask? We felt it this way. Well, the previous approach that we had taken with our shopping cart and these integrations, we basically were plugging in any ISO that wanted to plug into our shopping cart. At one point, I think we had 24 different merchant processors just sort of integrated into our shopping cart. And yeah, our developers had to maintain every one of those, so it was brutal. By mid-year last year, I was able to sort of do some analysis, and we were able to winning that down to about 7 or 8 of the major processors, all of the usual suspects, Okta, First Data, and so forth. But the real opportunity, as I started digging into it further, was that our merchants were pissed off. They were frustrated with the overall experience that and the services that they were receiving from these traditional ISOs. And that was the opportunity that I saw. Obviously, there's a tremendous opportunity in generating a payment solution and generating profit margins that come from that. But really and truly, it was more around our small business owners and these merchants who basically getting screwed by these ISOs. And they advertise, let's say, a 2.19% rate. The actual effective rate with interchange fees and everything else usually hovered with my customers, my merchants, around 4 or 5%. It was usurious, criminal. So that combined with let's say a merchant of ours may have had a few chargebacks, and then they withhold funds. Small business owners they don't have the cash flow to have their funds withheld. In some cases, ISOs would withhold the funds for standard 60 to 90 days, which is just also criminal. So that's why we got into business, really, was to help our merchants, to help them become more successful, and to be an advocate for them. So this native integration that we just launched, we did it with WePay. They have a very partner-centric model, a very interesting model. And what I love about working with a company like this is that they're eager to work with us and eager to sort of build and create a new roadmap just for us. So they're opening. We have international markets as well. They're opening for us in the UK next January. We'll be opening a solution for Australia probably second quarter of next year. We just launched Canada. So they're doing a lot of really terrific things for us. That's just been very, and they understand our business model very, very well. So it's a partnership that's worked really well, and been very pleased with it thus far. The one thing I'll say about the payments experience, again, the learnings. This is a new muscle for Infusionsoft. I mean, payments is a completely different space from sales and marketing automation software. And the education that we've had to do internally, the organizational development that I've had to do, I've had to bring in people who are expert, who understand the space very, very well. and then having to impart and teach and educate, our customer-facing personnel also has been an interesting process. We still, we're still a sales and marketing automation company. We think about email marketing. We think about, lead generation. Payments is not necessarily something that our customer-facing personnel think about. So when we think about sort of the acceleration of this business model, now that we've incubated it, we need to think about, where is it going to live? What sort of organizational competencies is it going to have? How is it going to, integrate and work with the rest of the Infusionsoft machine? So, very interesting dilemma, but it's evolving. And again, the learning's been fantastic. The next part of my, and I'm going to wrap with this, I want to talk a little bit about creating a platform. I'm not going to be so bold to say that Infusionsoft is a platform yet, but we're striving to become a platform. I was going to talk a lot about Uber, just because I'm a real big fan of what they've done and how they've created this platform. I'm not going to do that, but suffice to say, Uber, in the short 6 years that they've been around, they have created an incredible platform, and they've done it through partnerships and through open APIs. And that's really the crux of the message that I want to impart on you in this API economy, is that if you really think about what Uber has done in terms of the partnerships they've established with Braintree, the partnership they've established with Google Maps and with Twilio, they built these integrations, but then they built this whole layer, this Uber layer on top of that, and now this platform, anyone can plug into it, and they've created effectively a platform with a massive ecosystem that can do nothing but grow. It's already grown in 64 some odd countries and over 300 cities, and it's just going to, the opportunities are boundless, and it's because of the way they sort of thought about the API and the economy that we're in today. So when I think about Infusionsoft and the partnerships that we need to create, first, as mentioned before, it's all about, starting with the customer need. What do our customers need the most? Where are those overall gaps in our overall solution? So I try to think about opportunities that could potentially become native down the road. So we think about new services and new capabilities. We think about areas that are complementary to what our customers do in our solution. Our solution is a workflow solution. They're in our solution every day. So they're creating an email, and they need to have access to images, or they want to be able to create a video on the fly and embed that video into these capabilities don't exist in Infusionsoft today. So the opportunity for us to spin up partnerships, leveraging our API, and expose these capabilities to our customers are boundless. The key is really thinking about where the priorities, I only have a team of 7 people, where do we focus our efforts, and where do we have the biggest bang, the biggest impact for our customers. The other thing I want to mention really quickly is, and this is another sort of thing that I've thought a lot about, is the notion of whether Infusionsoft should build, or whether we should buy, or we should partner. I'm sure it's a conversation that many of you guys have had as well. I would say that buying right now is, executives always have an appetite for buying something, but I think right now, and then being so product driven and dev driven, there's always been this sort of healthy tension and desire to always build something. But I think what's happening is we're realizing very quickly that the opportunity to partner is real, and the opportunity to accelerate and innovate in an agile type of way is real. And that's really what gets my last point around the importance of our API. I think I'll just point to my experiences with our API. I think that we need to do a much better job documenting our APIs. I get many comments about our API, and a lot of it has to do with, frankly, the fact that I believe, it's not Infusionsoft, it's me, that we view our API to be an appendage. It's a utility. We don't think of it as a product. We don't have a product management mindset around our API. It's emblematic, because if I look at across our organization, I think, where does this expertise exist within our company around the API? some of it's in a support area, some of it's in product development, some of it's in DevOps. So it's fragmented, and there's no real clear leadership around our API. That's as I started preparing for this talk, that's really something that I just sort of, it came to mind that we, Infusionsoft, need to do a much better job thinking about organizing and being more proactive with our API. And we have, as I mentioned, a vibrant, third-party ecosystem out there, and we do. We have an awesome ecosystem, tons of new solution providers. What we want to get to is we want to not just only become a platform, but we really want to be the solution authority for small businesses and small business success. And that is, it's the only way we'll be able to do that. The only way we'll be able to enable that is by having an API that's truly product-driven and open and clear. That's it. Any questions? Yeah.
You said something about the cloud connectors earlier. Do you ever feel bad about asking a customer to take your solution, the QuickBooks solution, and now somewhere in between to connect them?
That's an awesome question. Yeah. Well, so I didn't mention this, but our solution, our ARPU is around $300 per user per month, per app per month. So the price elasticity of our solution is quite high. So that being said, it's been an issue, a continual issue, of whether we offer it for free versus not through a third party. What I've been able to do in the cases of these strategic integrations is I've been able to work out opportunities where either I'll fund the integration and the work, and then we'll be able to offer free, or I'll negotiate a discounted rate, but then put my BD muscle behind giving them extra distribution. Yeah.
How's your experience with the channel, the partner channel?
Very good. We have our channel group. I'm really intrigued with how we develop that element within the small business web. It's new for us. Our channel group really it grew out of many of our partners were actually and still are Infusionsoft users, and so they became expert at Infusionsoft and they actually turned it into their entire business. So it's sort of it really grew organically. It's quite large. The certified partner group that I mentioned is 600 strong, and we're putting on about I would say 50 per quarter. So it's a pretty healthy group. Yeah. Yeah.
How are you defining success for API integration strategy when you're sort of building out? How are you measuring, success at Infusionsoft?
Great question. So again, this goes back to sort of I think we're like on our third different API right now, and it wasn't until we sort of instituted a walkthrough that we're able to actually have some visibility and see metrics. So usage has been a big key factor. What I want to see actually with this new integration that we're doing with these accounting solutions is signups and then activity, daily active use. That's something that I'd like to see. Because if there's interaction between the two systems of record on a daily basis, then I know we're going to be in a good spot. I know that we're serving our customers.
So you don't view it as a demand gen thing, primarily you're viewing it as product adoption.
Totally product. My mindset is all around the product right now. And then there are a lot of other sort of interesting tests and objectives that we want to explore as well. We're still trying to understand exactly in the accounting space in particular. We still don't have great visibility what our customers are using. So we hope that by seeing the adoption, we'll start to sort of get a sense of where the demand is for the different solutions that are out there. Get ready.
Do you have any visibility into the retention that you have with customers that integrate products versus customers that...
Another great question. No, we don't have. We have a suspicion. We've seen with the API usage that retention is twice as high, but we don't have specific stats on number of attaches and what that's yielded in terms of lifetime value.
Neither do we.
Yeah.
So just building on that question, what are your KPIs around business development then? ARPU, I was going to ask, was it churn or retention, but what's a measure of success for you?
So yeah, okay, so on the payment side, for instance, yeah, we're contributing to what we call monthly recurring revenue, MRR. So we have metrics around that, and then we have additional metrics around signups and take rates for the different strategic integrations that we're working on.
I will have to.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard.